What's up, y'all? We back. We're catching up with Coach. We have Coach Dennis Thomas here. Let the people know who Dennis is.
Hey, Rick. I'm a teacher, Millville High School, um, from Salem, New Jersey. Uh, Taught in Salem for about 10 to 12 years. Been teaching in Millville for the last 5 years. Head football coach, Millville High School, graduate, Rutgers University. Went on to play with Kansas City Chiefs. Um, Now I'm coaching football, coaching young men how to play the game of football.
Awesome stuff, man. Appreciate all you do, man. You
Thank
know,
you, man.
let's get into how do we teach our young men how to deal with defeat and setback, man. I know we deal with that a lot in coaching. So what's some of the methods you use?
Yeah, one of the methods I use, man, is that, guys have to realize that, whenever there's a defeat or whenever you lose, or things don't go your way, you have to take it as a lesson. A
Mm-hmm.
loss is never is never a loss, but it's a lesson. What I mean, you take that L, you have to make it a lesson, because if you don't make it a lesson, it's going to repeat. So it's very important that you look at it as a lesson, learn from the lesson, and become greater.
That's awesome, man. I know I just interviewed somebody else and we was talking about, the feeling that you get when you help a kid become a champion or just a person in general. Can you express how that makes you feel once you help somebody get to that end goal?
Yeah, just had a coaching meeting with my staff, and we were just talking about being there for kids, and helping kids out, and then you see the success that they have later on in life. Just seeing guys, whether it be getting drafted in the NFL, or whether it be them getting a job, or whether it be them getting into the military and helping the country overseas. There's so many success stories, hundreds of success stories that I could share. But I'm just grateful and appreciative that God has placed me in this spectrum to help young men become men. Um, it's just great hearing, my guys that I had the opportunity to mentor, reach out, call me, and we just chop it up and, talk real manly things, what I mean? Things that men go through. So it's phenomenal.
That's cool, man. So let's talk about the power of teamwork, man, and its benefits. Because that's one thing that we struggle with, a lot is just understanding the concept of working as a team.
Mhm. Yeah, man. So, and working as a team, the, the world that we live in currently, uh, this world is so fixated on how can I help myself? How can I help my family? How can I get the most money? How can I get the most fame?
Hmm.
Um, and that's not, it takes a village not only to raise a child, but it takes a village to become a community. You
That's
know, um, we have to continue to develop our community. Um, One of the greatest examples was Jesus. How, he said, "You will know them by their fruit." So what he was basically saying is, you'll know people by their actions. You'll know them by their character. You'll know them by what they say. You'll know them. The more you're around someone, you will know them. And people should know you by your love, by the love that you have for one another, the love that you have, the compassion you have. So that's one principle that I speak to my guys, to walk around in love, man, walk around in humility, knowing that we wouldn't be in a position we are in if it wasn't for the next man or woman helping us out. So, always go into it with that type of humility, and help someone become great.
that's awesome stuff, man. Appreciate that. That's good info. When how do you continue to get the job done, man, when we have to deal with a lot of blurred lines split loyalty, secret racism, open racism. How do you push through that? What keeps you motivated through it all?
Yeah, that's very very interesting that you asked that question because one of my players reached out to me and spoke to me about something very similar to that,
Hmm.
and my response to him was, we have to keep our mind and our attitude focused on the task at hand. We always, whenever we approach a situation and we deal with racism, or we may deal with some injustice, or someone being unfair, we have to always keep our mind on the big picture. Like, why am I here? So we have to discover our why. Why are we doing this? What are we doing this for? Who put us in this position? And
Hmm.
when we begin to focus on those things, racism, all the social injustice, all that stuff just goes by the wayside, because you realize that you're here for a divine purpose.
Wow.
It's here for yourself. You're here not just for you, but for hundreds of other people or thousands of other people. So you're an example, and people are going to look to you to see how you dealt with the situation.
Wow. That's awesome, man. Well stated, bro. I know you touched on it a little bit earlier. How can we focus more on the big picture as a community as a whole to fix it in a holistic way?
Yeah, man. That's great, man. Number one, man, like I said, we have to get get away from being selfish.
Hmm.
Uh, we have to get away and stop looking at what's in it for me. Um, and we have to look at it and say, what's in it for we? How
Wow.
can we become better? We? How can all of us eat? How can all of us, succeed? That's what it's about, man. It's about coming together and making sure that others are feeling your love, because there's millions of people in the world, man, and they're just waiting for a phone call or a text from you, and people don't realize that alone can change their life. It makes a huge difference in someone's life when you reach out to them and you show love and you show compassion. The only way this world's going to change, if we continue to love. We got to double down on loving people and caring for people, and stop worrying about self gratification.
Wow. That's awesome stuff, man. And can you talk to people about the importance of perseverance? Because I seen you be persevering. It was the one time the Cheryl locked her keys out of the truck. It was hot. I think you had to run, but you were real persistent in getting the job done to help her get her keys out, man. So how can we touch on that?
Yeah, man. It's amazing. I was listening to, I'm an elder in my church, and
Hmm.
I listened to a few sermons, things that not just uplift me, to find out, messages that can help me, that also can help other people. So the minister he was talking about Joseph, and how, or he's talking about Joseph, he's talking about Job, but he was saying how Job was a man after God's heart. David was a man after God's own heart. However, they were both in situations that they didn't want to be in. Even Jesus was in a situation he didn't want to be in.
That's
You
right.
know, um, however, because they went through that process and they endured those times that they didn't want to go through that situation, they came out a victor on the other side. You
Amen.
know, one of the things, and I don't want to sound too preachy, but,
Nah,
the
cool.
Bible tells us, like in Psalms 23, David was saying, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil.
Amen.
So when we walk through the valley of the shadows, in order for a shadow to appear, there has to be light.
That's
And that light is, Jesus, God, like shining over top of whoever the adversary, So
right.
the key in being persistent is just knowing your greater purpose, knowing that you have a greater calling, and knowing that no matter what you just keep going to where God is calling you to go to.
Man, That's awesome stuff. We appreciate you, man. I'm so glad that I got to meet you, man. And if you ever need anything, don't hesitate, bro. I'm here for you.
Oh man, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, no problem, man. So continue being a light in the community, man, motivating our young men. I see the results, and we definitely appreciate you, bro.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Hey, man, I'm gonna continue doing it, man. This is what I'm called to do, man, and I'm gonna just continue to help the guys, man. That's what I call. That's what I'm called to do, man. So continue to help, continue to support, man, and things will be great.
Cool. All right, y'all. We had Dennis Thomas here with us, catching up with Coach. We thank you again for coming on, man. Have a blessed night.
All right, you too, man.
All right, bro. Thanks.
Later.